Hello friends, welcome to Wealthy Options. This is Reddy Reddy. Do you know about futures and options contracts expiry and what happens on the expiration date? Watch this video for all the details. Let's go through the definition first and then I will explain in detail. Expiry or expiration date of futures or options contracts is the last day that contracts are valid and then expired or settled or exercised. So what does it mean by expired or settled or exercised? I am going to explain that shortly, but before I do that, so let me first explain what is this expiration date. So we know that all the options and all the futures contracts have a expiration date. So for example, if you are holding a May month contract, that is going to expire by end of May. But do you know on what date it is going to exactly going to expire? So let's look at that first. So when it comes to futures or options, there are broadly two categories. One is index futures and stock futures. That is in the futures segment. And when it comes to options, index options and stock options. Now let's talk about the futures contracts expiration first. So all the futures contracts at any given point of time, they will have a three monthly contracts. One is current month. For example, now we are in May 2021. So in May 2000, so for May 2021, there is a contract that is called the current month contract, and then the next month contract, or it is also called near month contract, which is a June month contract, and then 4-month contract, which is a July one. So when it comes to the future segments, whether it is a stock futures or index futures, they only have monthly contracts and there are no weekly contracts. And all these futures contracts, whether they are a stock futures or index futures, they will expire on last Thursday of that particular contractual month. Now let's look at when May month futures contract will expire. So I'm just going to a calendar. So as you could see, last Thursday of May is falling on 27th. So all May month futures contracts will expire or settled on 27th. Similarly, June month futures contracts will expire on 24th and July on 29th. So when it comes to futures, there are no subsequent months, because for all the futures, whether it's a stock or index futures, you have a contracts only for the 3 months. Right? So once the May month contract gets settled, the new contract will be opened in the August month. Now let's go back to the options contracts. Like futures contracts, there are broadly two categories in options contracts as well. They are index options and stock options. So when it comes to index options, though there are many indices in NSE, there are three indices which have a options contracts. They are Nifty, Bank Nifty and Finance Nifty. So Nifty IT index also used to have a options and futures contracts, but now they are almost illiquid. Nobody trades those contracts. So by the way, futures, I mean when it comes to index futures also, these three indices are the ones which have the futures contract, right? And so all the index options, all three index options have both monthly and weekly options contracts. Okay, when I say weekly options contracts, so all these weekly options contract, they will expire on last Thursday of that particular week, and all the monthly options, they will expire on last Thursday of that particular month, as I just explained in the futures, right? So here let's understand the difference between the index options and stock options. So index options have both monthly and weekly options contracts, but whereas stock options have only monthly options contracts, right? So when it comes to weekly, so as I just told you, let's look at what is the expiration date for weekly contracts, right? So for example, we are on 23rd, so the next expiry is on 27th. So on 27th, so basically the weekly and monthly expiry is going to be same, right? Because that's a last Thursday. So there won't be any weekly expiry. So in that case, so the 27th will be called as a monthly expiry. and the next one will be on the 3rd June, and the subsequent will be on the 10th June. So these are the weekly expiries. And what are the monthly expiries? So 27th May is the monthly expiry, and then the next one will be on 24th June, right? So we can also see the same, for the indices like a Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Fin Nifty. So you can see all this, different expiries in option chain. 27th, 3rd June, 3rd June is the weekly expiry, 10th June is the weekly expiry, 17th June is the weekly expiry, and then 24th June you have, which is the monthly expiry, right? And now when it comes to stocks, so when do the stocks expire, right? So stocks have a only monthly expiry. They only have a monthly monthly options. So all these monthly options expire on the last Thursday of that particular contractual month. Now let's look at one particular stock. So let me just choose Reliance. So when I choose Reliance, let me look at what are the expirations available. So as you just saw, when it comes to Nifty, you found there are options contracts available for weekly and monthly as well. But when you select a stock like Reliance, any other stock which is part of F&O, you could see there are monthly contracts available only for 3 subsequent months, which is 27th and 24th and 29th June, right? And so all these dates are falling on the Thursday of that particular month. And I also want to tell you one more thing here. So stocks, when I mention about the stock options, so there are so many stocks being traded in NSE exchange, but not all the stocks are part of the futures and options category. So what NSE has done is, the NSE has identified around 160 stocks which are liquid in nature, and they have included all these 160 stocks in the futures and options segment. All the rest of the stocks, they only trade in the cash segment, but not in the futures and option segment, right? Now we understood, what are index options and stock options, and when do they exactly expire. Now let's understand what actually happens on the expiry date. So as you know, within futures, we have a index futures and stock futures. All the index futures are settled in cash on expiry day, and all the stock futures are settled with the physical delivery of stock. So let me explain that with an example. Now let's say you are going long in let me take an index future as an example first. Let's say you are going long in a index May month contract. So when I say going long, so you are buying a May month contract. Okay, currently Nifty May month future is currently trading around 15,200. Let's say by 27th May, which is the expiration date for May month, Nifty goes up by 200 points, another 200 points. That means it is going to close at 15,400. So you bought a May month futures contract at 15,200, and on 27th it is closing at 15,400. So there is a difference of 200 rupees. So that 200 rupees is your profit. When I say 200 rupees, it's a 200 into, for example, if you are holding a one lot, so one lot is equal to a 75 quantity. So 200 into 75, which is a 15,000. 15,000 is your profit. So that will be settled in your cash. So that 15,000, you will have it in your account. And let's say, in this case, instead of Nifty going up by 200 points, it went down by 200 points and closed at 15,000. So in which case you are making a loss of 15,000, and that 15,000 will be debited from your account. So in fact, so there is a mark to mark margin. So every day they will look at how much profit you are making and how much loss you are making. Accordingly, the amount will be debited or credited from your account when it comes to futures, right? And similarly, so same Nifty contract, instead of going long, let's say you have shorted the market. Okay, you have shorted the Nifty May month contract. Okay, which means you sold the Nifty May month contract, and Nifty went down from 15,200 to 15,000, which means you are making you are short on Nifty, at 15,200, and Nifty went down to 15,000. So you are making a profit of 200 points. So 200 into 75, which is a 15,000 profit. So in which case, so you will be, your account will be credited with the 15,000 profit, which is called a cash settlement. Now let's look at stock futures. I am taking Reliance May month future contract as an example. So when it comes to Reliance, so one lot is equal to 250 quantity. 250 quantity means 250 shares. So as you could see, if you want to buy a one lot of a futures Reliance futures contract, so which is equivalent to the 250 quantity of shares. Now let's say you are buying Reliance May month futures contract at 2005 rupees today, and by 27th May, which is the expiry date, Reliance share price goes to 2100 rupees. Now you are in a profit of close to 100 rupees. So before the expiry happens, if you want to settle this contract with cash, so what you can do is you can just square off this position. Okay, you can sell this contract and then make that 100 rupees, 100 points as a profit. When I say 100 points into 250 quantity, which is a 25,000 rupees profit. So if you square off your position before expiry, so you can settle this contract with the cash, and that 25,000 rupees will come to your account. Or second option, let's say you bought this futures contract with an intention to buy the Reliance shares at 2005 rupees, no matter whether it goes to the 2100 or 2200. So in this case, you can exercise your contract. Okay, you can just exercise your contract. When you exercise this contract, it is a exchange responsibility to give the delivery of 250 quantity of Reliance shares buying at 2005 rupees, right? So as you know, Reliance on 27th May, it is trading at 2100 rupees. So even though it is trading at 2100 rupees, because you bought the May month futures contract when it was trading at 2005, so it is exchange's responsibility to buy 250 shares of Reliance at 2005 rupees and transfer those shares to you to your Demat account. At the same time, so because you are getting a 250 shares of Reliance into your Demat account, so you need to have a approximately 250 into 2005, approximately 5 lakhs in your account. So now your question may be like, what happens if you don't have a 5 lakhs capital in your account? So that's why what brokers does is, so most of the brokers, when it comes to close to the expiry, so if you are holding a long position, that means if you have bought a futures contract, stock futures contracts, they will see whether you have a sufficient funds in your account to take the delivery of a stocks or not. If you don't have a sufficient amount, so before the expiry, it could be 1 day or 2 day or 3 days before, they will square off your positions, which means if your if your position is in a profit, you will get the profit in your account. If your position is in a loss, the loss will be debited from your account. So basically, if you want to exercise the contract, you need to have a sufficient cash balance in your account so that you can take a delivery of a stocks, right? Now let's say today, instead of going long, you are going short. That means you are selling the Reliance May month contract, right? Let's say when do you sell the Reliance May month future contract? Either your view is Reliance share price will go down, or you have a let's take an example of one lot, or you have a 250 shares of Reliance already in your account, and you want to sell them at 2005 rupees, no matter even if the share price falls to 1800 or 1700 or any other price, right? Now let's look at what happens on 27 May in this example. So you are selling a Reliance May future contract at 2005 rupees today, and let's say it went down to 1900 rupees, right, by 27th May, which means your direction is correct. You are in a profit of 100 rupees. So when you sell a contract, if price goes down, you will be in a profit because you are selling at a 2005 and buying back at 1900. So you are in a profit of around 100 rupees. Similar to the long. So if you want to settle this contract with cash, you can just square off this position by buying back. So you sold first, now you need to buy back, and then 100 points into 250 quantity, so which is 25,000 is your profit. However, if you want to exercise this option, you are holding a short position, you sold the contract. If you want to exercise this option, so what this means is, so though Reliance share is trading at 1900 rupees on 27th May, because I am holding a short position in May futures, which is something you sold at 2005 rupees. It is responsibility of the exchange still to sell your 2000 sell your shares, 200 sell your 250 quantity of your shares at 2005 rather than at 1900, right? So let me repeat. So because you are holding a Reliance May month short position, which you are shorted at 2005 rupees, even though Reliance price went down to 1900 rupees, right, you will still have a right, and you will still have a right to sell at 2005 rupees, right? So that means what happens is, the 250 shares from your demat account will be transferred to someone else, and you will get the price. You will get the price. I mean, when I say price, so 2005 into 250 quantity, around 5 lakhs into your account, right? Now if you look at the difference, so when you go for this kind of a exercising the contract, so when you are holding a long position, right, so you are basically, the amount will be debited from your account and you will get the shares in your demat account. And when you are holding a short position, and if you exercise the contract, the shares will be debited from your demat account, and the cash, so whatever the price you are exercising at, so that cash will comes into your account. So this is how the settlement happens on the expiry day. You may have a question like, what happens if I don't have a 250 quantity of Reliance shares in my account to give a delivery on expiry date? So in this case, what happens is, so what brokers does is, once you enter into a expiry week, so they look at whether you have a sufficient quantity of shares in your account to give a delivery on expiry date. So if you have, then it's not a problem. But if you don't have, they will look at, whether you have a sufficient cash reserve, so that you can able to buy the Reliance shares at current market price and give a delivery, on expiry day. So either you should have a sufficient quantity of shares in your demat account or sufficient cash reserves, so that you can buy at 1900 rupees and give a delivery at 2005 rupees. So anyway you are making that profit. But if you neither have a sufficient number of shares in your demat account, or if you don't have a sufficient cash reserves, as I said earlier, so it will be before the expiry, so brokers will square off your positions. So if you are in a profit, for example, in this case you shorted at 2005, let's say by the time brokers are squaring off your position, so let's say Reliance is trading at 1950 rather than at 1900, so you will be in a profit of approximately 45 rupees. So 45 into 250, whatever the amount you get, so that will be created into your account. But let's say by the time they are squaring off, so you shorted at 2005, it is at 2050, then in that case you will be in a loss of 45 points, which is 45 into 250. So that amount will be debited from your account. So this is how the settlement happens on expiry date when it comes to futures. Now let's look at what happens to options contracts on expiration date. So as you know, like futures, options also has index options and stock options. So firstly, whether it is a index options or stock options, all the OTM and at the money options will expire worthless. So I've explained about what is out of the money and at the money and in the money call options or put options in my moneyness of options in video, and you can check that video earlier if you still have any doubts about what is OTM and ATM and in the money options. Now coming back to here, so whether it is index options or stock options, all the out of the money and at the money options will expire worthless, because those contracts will not have intrinsic value, they will only have a time value, which means those contracts will not have any value and they will expire worthless. Now what is left out is the in the money options. So in the money options, when it comes to the index options, all the in the money options will be settled as a cash, so they are cash settled. But when it comes to the stocks, all the in the money stock options will be settled through a physical delivery. Now, let me explain you this with an example. Let me cover index options first and then I'll come to stock options. Let's say you want to buy 15,400 call option, which is a out of the money call option today, by paying a premium of 40 rupees. So when I say premium of 40 rupees, it's a 40 into 75 quantity. Why 75? Because Nifty one lot is equal to 75. So which is around 3,000 rupees. So by paying a 3,000 rupees as an investment, you can buy this contract. So Nifty is currently trading around 15,200. Let's say by 27th May at the expiration, so Nifty will close at 15,500, right? If it closes at 15,500, so that means you bought the 15,400 strike. So Nifty has not only hit your strike and it went even beyond by 100 rupees. That means your bought call option is in the money by 100 rupees. So why 100 rupees? So your strike price is 15,400 and Nifty closed at 15,500. So that difference is your, that's the in the money. And that is the value of your contract at the expiry. So your 15,400 call option has a value of 100 rupees premium. But if you look at the profit, when from the settlement point of view, initially you paid a premium of 40 rupees and it has a value of 100 rupees. So the profit is 100 minus 40, which comes to 60 rupees. So that 60 rupees, when I say 60 into 75, which is approximately 4,500, 4,500 rupees is your profit, will be settled in your cash and that amount will be credited into your account, right? So in this case, so instead of 15,400, let's say you bought a 15,600 call option, right? And Nifty closed at 15,500, which means it has never hit the strike you have selected, which means by expiry this 15,600 will become a out of the money call option still, because Nifty has not hit this strike. So it will be it will become worthless. When I say worthless, it will not have any value, it will have a zero value. So basically whatever the premium you are paying, for example, you would have bought it at 10 rupees. So that will go into zero. That means there is no settlement. So you already paid the premium. So whatever the premium you paid, that will be lost. Now let's look at from the call option seller, writer point of view. So in the earlier example I mentioned about the buying. Let's say you sold let's say you sold 15,400 call option, okay, at 40 rupees premium, okay, at 40 rupees premium. So going by the same example, so Nifty closed at 15,500. So it is in the money by 100 rupees. So when you sold, when you sell an option, you will get the 40 rupees into your account. So when you sell, so you would have got the 40 rupees into your account. But this particular options contract has a value of 100 rupees. So there is a difference of 60 rupees, which is a loss for you, right? When the buyer is making a 60 rupees profit, and obviously the seller of this contract is making a 60 rupees of loss. So what happens is, as a cash settlement, this 60 into 75, approximately 4,500 rupees will be debited from your account and will be credited into buyer account. So that's how it will be settled. So going by the other example, so if you have as an option seller, if you have sold 15,600 call option, so which the strike price has never hit by Nifty before end of the May. So as an option, because it is the strike is not hit. So as an option seller, so whatever the premium you have received, for example, this 10 rupees 60 paise, approximately 750 rupees premium, that you would have received, that you will keep it in your pocket only. So that is your settlement. You already received it, so you will keep that entire profit. So that's how the options are settled when it comes to index. The same cases with the put options also. Put options, let's say you are basically buying a 14,700 put option, by paying a 13 rupees 75 paise as a premium. Let's say by May 27 May, Nifty did go down. Let's say it went down up to 14,600. Okay, so today market is at around 15,200. Let's say market crashed by 600 points, and on 27th May, so Nifty closed at 14,600. So when it closed at 14,600, and if you have purchased 14,700 put option, so it is in the money by 100 points, right? So it is in the money by 100 points means this option will have a value of 100 rupees from the profit and loss point of view. So you paid the premium of, you have paid the premium of around 14 rupees, and the option has a value of 100 rupees, which means almost 84 rupees premium is your profit. So 84 means 84 into 75. So whatever the amount that comes, so that will be credited into your account as a settlement, right? But if you have sold this option, right, if you have sold this put option, so you will be incurring a 84 rupees loss, right? However, in this case, let's say the Nifty closed at 14,600, but instead of selling a 14,700 put option, and if you have sold 14,500 put option, right, because Nifty had not hit your strike, though it fell up to 14,600, so it has not fell up to 14,500, so it has fall, it fell down by 600 points, but it has not hit your strike of 14,500. So in this case, what happens is, whatever the premium you are receiving, 7.5 into 750 rupees, 75 quantity. So maybe approximately 600 rupees or whatever it is. So that premium, whatever you would have received when you sold the put option contract, so that is yours, right? So that's how. So there is no settlement. When I say settlement, so you already received the premium. So this option will become worthless. It will become zero. So the buyer of this option will lose the money, and the seller of this option will keep that, that premium as a profit. Now let's look at the stock options. Now let me take the Reliance as an example here. Reliance is currently trading around 2,000 rupees. 2,000, 2,005 rupees, right? So let's say you are buying a Reliance May month 2000 call option, right? So you are buying a May month 2000 call option. So let's say when by end of this May, which is 27th May, on the expiry date, Reliance closes at 2,100 rupees, right? So if you are a buyer and you bought it at 2,000 and Reliance closed at 2,100 rupees, that means it is in the money by 100 points, right? So, and what is your investment? 23 rupees. So 100 minus 23, so which is a 77 rupees is your profit. So when I say 77 into 250, so whatever comes, that is your profit. So when you are a buyer of a options contract, you have two options. Either you have a right to exercise your contract, right? Or you can square off your options contract. And take the profit, right? So for example, in this case, if you want to exercise your contract, so what do you mean by exercising the contract? So when you bought the Reliance 2000 call option, you got the right to buy Reliance shares, 250 quantity of a shares, assuming you bought one lot. You have a right to buy 250 quantity of a Reliance shares at 2,000 rupees, no matter whether Reliance share will go to 2,100 or 2,200 or whatever it is, right? Now in this case, if you exercise the options contract, so what happens is, you will get the 250 quantity of Reliance shares into your demat account, provided you need to have a sufficient cash in your account, which means approximately 5 lakhs, approximately you need to have a 5 lakhs in your account to take a delivery of your Reliance shares. Again, so what happens if you don't have a sufficient cash in your account? So as I said earlier in the index in a futures example, if you don't have a sufficient funds in your account, so once you enter into the expiry week, so brokers will look at whether you have a sufficient cash reserves or not to take a delivery. If you don't have, they will square off your positions, and whatever the profit or loss you have, so that will be credited or debited from your account. So that's how it will be settled, right? So now let's say you have instead of buying a 2000 call option, and you bought the 2200 call option, and Reliance closed at 2100. So in this case, what happens? So Reliance has never hit the 2200 strike, which means this options contract will expire worthless, right? So whoever would have sold, the person, who would have sold this 2200 call option, they will keep the premium, which is 1 rupee 35 paise, which means approximately around 300 rupees. So that they will keep it as a profit, right? And same case with the the put options also. Let's say you are buying a put option. Let's say you are buying a 2000 strike put option in today by paying a premium of 18 rupees, right? Let's say Reliance did go down. Okay, Reliance is currently trading at 2000 rupees. Let's say Reliance dropped to 1900 rupees. Okay, so you bought the 2000 strike put option, and Reliance share dropped to 1900, which means this particular strike is in the money by 100 rupees. Okay, from now P&L from profit and loss point of view. So this contract at the end of 27th May has the value of 100 rupees, and what is the premium you paid? 18 rupees. So your profit is 82 rupees. So as an options buyer, because you bought a put option, so if you wanted to not to exercise and settle this, book the profit, so before the expiry, what you could have done is you can just square off your position and take that 82 rupees. Take that 82 rupees as a profit, which means 82 into 250, whatever comes, that becomes your profit, right? So that is one option. Now as a second option, if you exercise this options contract, so what happens is, so when you bought the 2000 put option, you got the right to sell your shares. Let's say when you bought one lot of 2000 strike put option, so you got a right to sell 250 quantity of your Reliance shares at 2000 rupees, even though Reliance share price drops to 1900 or 1800 or 1500 by end of 27th May. So in this example, so Reliance dropped to 1900 rupees, right? So but though Reliance dropped to 1900 rupees, so because you bought the 2000 strike put option, you have a right to sell at 2000 rupees. So when you exercise the contract, what happens is the 250 quantity of Reliance shares will be debited from your account at a price of 2000. Okay, not at 1900. So because you have paid this 18 rupees premium, you got the right to sell at 2000 rupees. So your 250 quantity Reliance shares will be sold to the sold at a 2000 rupees, and whatever the amount that comes, approximately 5 lakhs, so that will be credited into your account, right? So and the person, whoever would have sold this 2000 put option, so he will take the delivery of those shares at a 2000 rupees, though share is trading at 1900. That means he is in a loss by almost 82 rupees per share. Okay, so that's how it is settled. Now obviously, again you may have a question like, so what happens if I don't have a 250 quantity of shares in my account? So it's the same answer. So brokers will look at whether you have a sufficient quantity of shares to give a delivery or not. If you don't have, they will look for a cash reserves, so that they can buy it from the market and give a delivery. If you neither have a cash reserves nor have a sufficient quantity, so your position will be squared off before the expiry, and whatever the profit or loss will be settled in a cash, and it will be either credited or debited from your account, depending on whether you are making a profit or loss. So that's the detailed explanation about what is futures and options expiry and what exactly happens on expiration date. So actually, people may know that all these futures and options contract, they expire on the last day of the contract, but many people do not know how they get settled, how the settlement happens for the stock futures and stock options, and how it happens for the index futures and index options. So I had to explain in detail with by taking a multiple examples. So the key points here is, so index options, you have a weekly expiry and monthly expiry, and stock options, you have only the monthly expiry. For futures, it's all monthly expiries only. So all the expiries happens on the Thursday. Okay, for monthly, it's the last Thursday of month. For weekly, so Thursday of that particular week. If Thursday is a holiday, so your expiry actually happens on the Wednesday, and if Wednesday is also holiday, the expiry happens on Tuesday. And all the index futures settled in cash, but whereas stock futures settled through a physical delivery. And when it comes to options, whether it is a index options or stock options, all the out of the money, at the money options will become expire worthless, so they will not have any value. And all the when it comes to in the money options, so index in the money options settled in cash, and the stock in the money options settled through a physical delivery. So hope now you have a complete and better understanding about what happens on expiry and how settlement happens. Hope you found the information I shared in this video useful. Please leave your questions, comments and suggestions in the comment section of this video. And also don't forget to check the description of this video where I have shared all the details about how to get access to all my live trades, be it positional, intraday and expiry during the live markets, and it's an opportunity to learn through my live trades. Please like and share this video if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.